Good afternoon, everybody. A little bit of a technical glitch. We had to restart the computer, but we are in good shape now. So welcome, welcome. Let's see. All right. Had a little bit of an issue with Facebook today, but we're working through it. We are working through it. So good afternoon, guys. Glad to see you here. Welcome, welcome. Today, we're going to be going over how to approach your goals for 2022 so that you know you're going to absolutely crush them. What we do is we take a big overarching goal and we split it down into little pieces. And we're going to show you exactly how to do that. So in the meantime, though, as you guys are hopping on, we're going to go ahead and have you put your name and your submarket, your state and your submarket in the comments, because what that'll allow me to do is kind of give you guys an idea of how to break down your goals. Okay, so as you're hopping on, let me know your name, the name of your state and the name of your submarket. And we're going to go apart and we're going to show you step by step what it's going to take to smash your goals. So in the meantime, also while we're waiting for people to come, if you can do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button and the heart button, smash those guys, because what that does is it tells the Facebook algorithm to spread the message out as far and as wide as possible to everybody, so that we can get as many people on here and help as many people just absolutely kill their goals next year. All right, guys. So I'm just gonna hop onto my other screen here, see where we are, and let me know what you got, where you're coming in from, what your submarket is, and so I can give you specific feedback on what people are making in your state on average for commercial transactions. So come on along, guys, and I will see you in just a second. Who's in there? Orlando, how are you? Thanks for coming by. Good to see you. Just want to make sure we have volume here. Oh, we've got volume. Cool. All right. Orlando, welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Orlando, if I'm not mistaken, you're here in Florida, am I correct? Just wanted to double check. Florida, one of my favorite states. It happens to be my home state. 1.9 million is the average size transaction here in the state of Florida, which is awesome because it doesn't take but a few of those at $57,000 on a 3% fee to have a pretty darn good year, right? So as you guys are hopping on again, if you could do me a favor, smash the thumbs up button, smash the like button. You're in Morristown. Oh, cool. Right on. It's my old stomping grounds. Super sweet. Yeah. I used to live in Convent Station right outside of Morristown. Actually, it's technically Morris Township. So cool. Okay, so yeah, well, Jersey boy in the house. 1.5 million, right? So your average 3% fee is going to be $45,000, right? So yeah, again, it doesn't take too many of those to have a really good year, you know. And these are just average size transactions. I see Jose just hopped on. Jose, where are you coming in from? What state are you coming in from, Jose? Like to see where you guys are, because what we're going to do is we're going to not only take your goals for next year, but we're going to break them down. We're going to get granular on this stuff. We're going to show you exactly what you need to be doing every single day, every single week. How many calls you got to make, how many people you have to speak to, how many meetings you have to go on, how many listings you have to take. We're going to get super duper granular on this to give you guys clarity, because oftentimes I've found it's great to say, oh, I want to make X amount next year. Sure, like who doesn't, right? But when you know, oh, in order for me to make X amount this next year, I need to do this amount of dials, go on this amount of meetings, get this amount of listings, close this amount of deals so that I can hit that goal. It makes it a whole lot more achievable when you know the specific steps it takes to achieve said goal, right? So Charlotte, North Carolina. Okay, cool. We have let's see. North Carolina's 1.2 million, right? So North Carolina, that's going to be $36,000 per transaction, right, on average. I see Anthony's coming in. Anthony, welcome. Nice to see you. Arizona, 2 million is your average sales price in Arizona. So that's pretty easy math. 3% fee on 2 million is $60,000, right? So, and again, guys, I try whenever setting goals, I always try to be cautiously optimistic. So now mind you, what the numbers that I'm giving you, these are the averages according to CoStar, right? Take that number and cut it in half, right? Let's be really, really conservative, because what I want you to do is set your mind that you have to do more work than it takes to hit your goal. That way you absolutely just completely knock it out of the park, right? So for instance, in Phoenix, even though the average is 2 million, go at it like it's 1 million, right? Or go at it like it's, 50% or 30% less, something like that. What it'll do is it'll make it so that you're setting yourself up to make way more than your goal for next year. But more importantly, we're gonna drill down and get you guys get you the behaviors that you need in order to hit these goals, right? Now, just a little bit about me, guys. I am a commercial real estate broker, but I have shied away from leasing over the years because I realized at a certain point that you have to do a whole lot of leasing in order to get to the numbers from sales, right? I've been doing leasing since like 2003. And at a certain point, I kept saying to myself, wow, I'm working really hard, but I'm not getting to where I want to, financially because I'm not selling enough. So when I retooled my business to be basically sales only, the only people I do leases for are people that I've already helped, or maybe I sold their building for them. Sure, I'll help them with a lease, but I try to stay away from it. So what I really try to encourage my students to do is go sales only, and specifically learn how to work on the sell side, representing the seller, not the buy side. Buyers can run you around, run you around, run you around. With sellers, the only thing you have to do, the only thing that has to happen is that the property has to sell. It doesn't matter whether it's by you finding the buyer, by another agent bringing a buyer, right? So for all of you guys out there, I highly recommend, if you want to make the most amount of money in this business, and put it this way, the agents that make the most amount of money in this business, they're on the sales side, right? So I recommend specializing in sales, right? Learn multiple property types and specialize in sales, specifically on the sales side. That's how you get to the top of the pyramid. So by all means, check it out, guys. Brian, I see Brian is with us from New York. He comes in, one of our regulars, comes in every week. So New York City, we know, is 2.5 million. State of New York is 2.5 million size average transaction. So I see Brian, Mr. Recruiter. Love it, love it. So again, guys, welcome. Today, we're going to talk about what it's going to take for you to smash your goals. So guys, as I'm giving you your totals, your average size deals for each state, right? Write that down and then write what a 3% fee would be for that, okay? Because what we're going to do in just a second is we're going to get on here and we're going to show you exactly what it takes to get that done. More importantly, I'm going to show you the spreadsheet of how, so you can figure it out on your own based on what your numbers are, right? I see Stacy's coming in from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Welcome, Stacy. Let's see, South Carolina. South Carolina is 1.2 million here, Stace. So, so a 3% fee on that would be $36,000. So what we're going to do is, like I said, we're going to figure out what our daily behaviors need to look like and how many sides of a transaction you need, so that we can figure out what it's going to take for you to get to your goals. Okay. So if anybody is willing to share what their financial goal is for next year, I'd be happy to take and help you out so we can figure out exactly what it's going to take. How many dials, how many connects, how many meetings, how many listings, what percentage of your listings have to sell so that we can get you to where you want to be by this time next year. New Jersey is 1.5 million, Orlando. So 1.5 million. So you're looking at $45,000 per side. And guys, by the way, guys, if you could do me a favor and smash that like button, smash the heart button, so it tells Facebook to send this recording out to as many people as possible. That helps me pay it forward. All right. So if you can help me help others, I would absolutely love that. Thank you so much, guys. All right, cool. Stacy's at 100,000. Scott's at 200,000. Layla, welcome. Scott and Layla are two of my star students. Welcome, guys. Good to see you. If you guys want to put your goals up here, let me know what you're looking to make next year. We're going to do some real simple math and break it down for you so you can figure out what you need to do in order to get as many people, in order to help as many people as possible. There's an old, I think it was Zig Ziglar said it, you help enough people get what they want and you can get what you want. But if you always put helping others in the front and allow that to drive, like be the locomotive that drives the train, everything else falls into place. All you have to think of is, who am I going to help? How am I going to help them get what they want? Because in turn, indirectly, you will get what you want, right? Brian says he'd like to make 300K. Awesome. All right, I see Mark Lindo's on here. Mark, nice to see you again, pal. Go ahead and put in, if you want, what your financial goal is for 2022. We're going over goals and seeing how we can break things down for everybody, right? So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Give me a second. All right, and let me know, guys, when you can see my screen, and it should say input and revenue calculator. All right, you guys can give just someone type input in the chat when you can see. Oh, where is it going? Okay, can you guys see input and revenue calculator? Do me a favor and let's see. Well, just someone put type input. There we go. Okay, cool. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it. All right, cool. All right, so what I have done here, and by the way, at the end of the call, I'll be happy to send you a copy of this, right? Just do me a favor and put spreadsheet, okay? Just type that in the comments either now or later, right? If you want a copy of this. But this is how we figure out how much money you're gonna make next year, right? Again, like I mentioned, it's very, very hard to hit the top levels of earnings and brokerage by doing leases only. It's very hard to hit the top levels of earnings and brokerage working with buyers, right? Sometimes you have clients that are already in place, no problem. Sure, work with buyers. But what I would recommend is spend the majority of your time working with sellers. How do we do that? We create a business plan that has you set up so that every single day, every Monday through Friday, every single week, you are reaching out to sellers, potential sellers, so that you can see how you can help them, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna work through some examples here of what it takes. So, right? So let's take a look, say. I think it was Stacy. Stacy put up, she was the first one in the comments, $100,000, all right, cool. So here's what we're gonna do, Stace. Check it out, right? So we're gonna go here, we're gonna put in 100,000. Boom, okay? Now, and in your state, I think you said you came from you're coming from South Carolina, you're gonna look at 1.2 million, right? Boom, okay? So with $100,000, your average sale size is 1.2 million, which means your average commission per side is 36,000. Now, with the sides needed to hit your target, so that means buy side and sell side, okay? That means in order for you to hit $100,000, you're gonna have to sell 2.8 sides. So basically call it 3 sides. So either 3 listings at $1.2 million have to sell, okay? 6 listings at 600,000. However you have to figure it out, right? But you need to, in order for you to hit that $100,000 goal, you need, that's what you need to do. You need to do 2.8 sides. Now, let's take a look at Scott. Okay, so Scott here is 200,000, right? Let's look at this. Boom, 200,000. He's in Atlanta, so Georgia. We'll look up Georgia's 1.2 million as well, right? So in order to hit that $200,000 goal, he needs to hit 5.6 sides at 36,000. Now, mind you, guys, like I was mentioning before, it's okay to be conservative with your numbers. If you're conservative with your numbers in terms of the average sale size, right? What I'm giving you is what CoStar has as the average sale size, but we've all sold properties that are smaller than that, right? So let's say instead of 1.2, let's make this 800,000. Right? So it takes a little bit of the pressure off you so that not every single transaction you do has to be 1.2 million. But if let's say your average transaction is 800,000, right? Which means you're going to make 24,000. Scott needs to sell, have 8.3 sides, so call it 9 sides, right? What does that mean? The reason why I'm not looking at transaction and I'm looking at sides is because I'm very, very much a proponent of making sure that you are doing everything. Once you take that listing, that's not where your work ends. In fact, that's where your work begins. And I'll tell you why. When you work to sell your own listing, I talked about this a week or two ago. When you get the listing, there's nobody more incentivized to sell that property than you. Because if that doesn't sell, you don't make a dime, right? You with me, guys? So if you guys think about it, the best thing you can possibly do is put every amount of effort forward to not only get the property sold, but maybe you can find a buyer as well. You're going to make double the amount of money. You guys with me? If you guys would like to make double the amount of money on some of your transactions, give me a +1 in the chat. Just type +1 in there. if you think it would be kind of cool to learn how to increase your chances of getting both the sell side and the buy side. Because last I checked, $2 is better than 1 for the same amount of work. You guys with me? All right, so type +1 in the chat if you'd like to learn how to double end more deals. Okay, cool. All right, so because what a lot of people do is they take it, they get the listing. Oh, great, cool. They put together a flyer, LoopNet, CoStar, MLS, and then they sit back and kick it. Well, that's not what I do, and that's not what I teach my students to do either, okay? We have a very specific formula, and by what you do, once you get the listing, this is how you drastically increase your chances of getting both the sell side, which you already have, and the buy side of the deal, okay? But, which is why, going back to it, why I recommend thinking in terms of sides, because think of it this way, guys. Scott needs to sell he needs to close on, let's call it 9 sides to hit his $200,000 goal, right? 9 sides. If Scott were to double end, right, get both the buy side and the sell side, he'd only have to sell 5 properties. You with me? In order to get that, because he'd be getting double the amount of money, okay? So it makes your life a lot easier. You have to prospect less. You have to work with less sellers. You have to, close less transactions when you're getting both sides of it. So why not? Number one, it's way easier to control a transaction when you're the only broker in the middle, right? There's no playing that game of telephone. There's no dealing with other brokers' egos, because, I know it's pretty uncommon, but other brokers sometimes have egos, right? So when you are the only broker in a transaction, it makes your life a whole lot easier. So don't forget, guys, the more you can increase your chances of getting both sides of that deal, the easier it makes your life, the less you have to prospect, the less deals you have to close to hit your goals. You guys with me? Do me a favor, type double dip in the comments if you think that makes sense, if you think that's something that would be helpful to get both sides of the deal, right? Just as an example, guys, last year, fourth quarter, I sold I closed on 5 properties, right? 4 of the 5, I got both the sell side and the buy side. Now, I'm not saying it happens every quarter. I wish it did, right? But it is absolutely possible, because it's happened to me. It will probably happen again. But what I'm trying to show you guys is to take steps in order to increase your chances of getting this to occur, right? So let's go with some more people, right? And then once we to give you guys an idea of how many sides it takes, right? We're then going to go and show you what it'll take behavior-wise, what kind of input-wise, right? So Orlando put up 200,000. Okay, cool. So Orlando lives in Jersey. In Jersey, we got 1.5 million, right? So average deal size is 1.5 million. Now, I did everything on, all right. Yeah, there we go. So I did everything based on a 3% fee, right? Now, for him to do $200,000 worth of business, right? Now this is GCI, mind you. I'm not talking about the splits you have with your company or this or that. I'm just giving you GCI, all right? Just to give you a ballpark, right? But for you to hit your GCI at $1.5 million, the average 3% commission is $45,000. You need 4.4 sides. Basically, you need 5 sides. So you could go out and you could sell 5 properties. Cool. You could go out and you could sell 3 properties, and 2 of the 3 get both the buy side and the sell side, right? So that's why it's so important to start opening your mind and thinking outside the box. Most people don't do it. Most people don't have a method for doing it. This is what we specialize in. We specialize in how to get you there, okay? So I saw, let's see, that's Orlando. Brian Harris, New York City. We got you, man, 300,000, right? Boom. And then New York City is 2.5 million. What do we got there? Oh, look at that, 75,000 for commission per side. You need 4 sides. You need to sell $2.5 million properties, getting both sides of the transaction, or sell 4 of them at that side. Now, again, guys, don't be afraid to be conservative with these numbers. The more conservative you are with your estimates, the more likely you are of murdering your goals. Why? Because if you think, oh wow, I got to sell 10 properties this year, right? And you're being conservative in your estimation of the deal size. You sell 10 deals, next thing you know, you're going way past it, because every once in a while you're going to pick up a big deal here, a big deal there. Sometimes all it takes is 1 or 2 deals to completely make your year, So it's very, very important to consider. So you can, let's drop this down for Brian, right? Let's just say instead of it being 2.5, according to CoStar, boom, whoops, no, not 12.5. It's $1.5 million. He's got to sell, he's got to close on 8 sides, which means he's got to sell 4 properties, double ending, or he's got to sell 6 properties with double ending, 2 of the 6, You just need a total of 8 sides. It's not that difficult to do. And once you get your database figured out, once you figure out who the usual suspects are, makes your life a lot easier. You guys with me so far? If you're with me, give me a +2 in the chat so I can see that we're all on the same page. Because what I want you to do, Brian says, I'm working on that with 3 buyers now, 1.8, 2.2, and 2.5. There you go. So like you're sitting right there in the ballpark, man. Like if you average those 3 out between 1.8, 2.2, and 2.5, you're right at that 2.2 mark. Yeah. So you're with me. Awesome. Awesome. I love it. Love it. Okay. So now that you guys kind of have an idea of kind of like how many sides you need, right? Let's break apart and show you how you do that, how you actually wake up every day, put on your pants one leg at a time, just like every other broker, right? And how you dig in and go to battle, right? So that's what the top part of this sheet is about. So the top part of the sheet is here. It's like, okay, and now I just put in some ballpark numbers. Everybody's is going to be different, but I want to show you how this works, okay? So what I wanted to show you was if you made 1,000 dials a month, okay, and you now D to C, that means dials to connects, right? This page, the way it works is you change this number, it affects this number. So if you made 1,000 dials and you on 12% of the time, so 12 out of 100, you're able to get a hold of who you're intending to call, not the housekeeper, not the wife, not the partner, not the kid, but the person you're intending to call, you would make 120 contacts at 12%. Now watch this. This is kind of cool. If this is 10%, you type in 10 there, boom, and adjust everything. Everything else self-populates, right? Now my experience has been over years and years. I'm over 35,000 cold calls at this point in my career, so I've got a relative idea of how this works. Typically, we're looking at about a 12% conversion rate. It might be 14, might be 13, but basically, you dial 50 people, you're going to get between like 5 and 8 or 6 and 9 people on the phone. Let's just average it out at about 12%, right? That's if you're working with decent data. You can be using a terrible data and get 1 out of 100 on the phone, right? But I'm saying with decent data, not perfect, not terrible, you're looking at about a 12% pickup rate. That's like you make 50 dials, 6 people pick up the phone. That's a decent day of cold calling, right? Now, of those people, now look at this, C to M, contacts to meetings. Out of those people that you get on the phone, you get a human being, a living, breathing human being on the other phone, not an answering machine, right? If you were able to convert 25% of them, which if you're good with your scripts, you should absolutely be able to do, right? You get 12 people on the phone, you should be able to get 3 people to agree to a meeting. You guys with me so far? You understand these conversions? Does that make sense so far? I don't want to go too far, too fast with the sheet. Do me a favor, if this is making sense so far, just type the word conversion in the chat just to make sure that we're all on the same page, right? Now watch. Again, you change this number. Let's just change this number from 25 to 20. Watch what happens over here. Ready? Boom. Everything else adjusts, okay? Because what I want you guys to do, this is a process. This is a process that if you follow the process over time, the law of large numbers will help you. Awesome. Bert, thank you. Brian, thank you. Scott, Orlando, thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it. So we're all on the same page here, right? So this is a process. It's very important. Number one, you have to track your numbers. Like I say in listing presentations, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, brokers might tell you stories, but the numbers will never lie to you. And then I whip out the comps or I whip out the underwriting for a property because it's completely true. Like you can never dispute the numbers. 1 + 1 will always equal 2. It'll never equal 3, not in a million years, right, guys? So my point is, if you follow your numbers, if you keep track of your numbers, all you have to do is just keep a piece of paper out and just make a hash mark for every time you call somebody. Boom, 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 boom. Don't stop until you hit your number. And that's how you're able to figure this out over time, okay? Also, right, make sure at the end of every week you put this into a spreadsheet. When you start watching your numbers over time, over a couple of weeks, over a couple of months, over a couple of quarters, over a year, over a couple of years, you're able to extract information and do and make changes to your business based on the information. That is super duper powerful, guys. Because here's an example, right? Let's say you're making $1,000 dials a month, right? That's $250 a week. That's 50 a day. Okay. And actually, there's 4 1/4 weeks in a month, but whatever. Let's just say there's only 4 weeks in a month. If you were to do 1,000 dials a month, 50 dials a day, you get 12. Let's see. You get 12%. Boom. There you go. Oh man, I messed up this formula here. Give me a second. Okay, cool. So if you have a 10% conversion rate, you're getting 100 people on the phone. If from those 100 people you're able to get 25 to a meeting, basically that's a little over a meeting a day, right? And of those 25%, right, M to L, meeting to listings. Let's say your conversion is 1 out of every 5. Guess what? That means you're going to be taking a listing a week. Can anybody tell me what, if you took 1 listing a week, what that would do over the course of a year? Can anybody tell me what 1 listing a week would do? Go ahead and type in the chat. Make sure you guys are with me. Anybody? Anybody? How many listings that would be in a year? Okay. Now, mind you, in commercial, I know in residential, right, you're not going to be able to, I mean, in residential, there's a high likelihood, there's like a 90% likelihood that you're going to sell, 90+%, especially in today's market. I mean, like you close your eyes and then the thing kind of sells itself, right? But on the commercial side, we are oftentimes dealing with imperfect information. We're oftentimes not dealing with a ton of data points that we can draw conclusions from. So sometimes it takes a little longer. Sometimes we run out of time. Sometimes the people change their mind. They get tired of the process. There's a lot of reasons, right? So let's just say that LS, listings sold, is 35%. In fact, let's go with 33%. The reason being is that that's saying, like, if I list 3 properties and I sell 1 of them, all right? Orlando, yes, exactly. 52, a listing a week is 52 listings per year, right? Now, if you're selling 1 out of every 3, okay, you take 5 per month, right? And next thing you know, it means you're selling 1.65, right? You annualize that equals 1.65 times 12. Check it out. Boom, that's 20 sales a year. Okay, guys, right? This is moving at a pretty good clip. If you can close 20 commercial deals a year, you're doing well. Okay, so these numbers are pretty darn realistic when it comes to this. Maybe your meeting, your contacts to meetings only 20%, right? Let's look at that. Then you're looking at 16 deals a year. Maybe your meetings to listing is only 15%, right? Let's take a look at that. That means you're only closing 12 deals a year. The point is, guys, the more you track your numbers, the more you can see these relations. Okay, so you do 1,000 dials a month. That's 12,000 a year. Look at this. Next thing you know, you can use, for every 1,000 dials you do, you get 1 deal done. Does this make sense to you guys? Do you see what your behavior has to be like in order for you to hit certain numbers? Now, let's take it back to here. Let's take a look at this. Was Scott's number here, right? So he's got to hit 8. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave these are very conservative numbers here. Let's drop this down to see what it needs to be, right? Let's see how many dials that Brian needs to make in New York in order to hit his $300,000 goal, right? I'm willing to bet it's somewhere around here. Ooh, maybe somewhere around here. Boom, there we go. So what does that mean? Okay, if Brian does 700 dials a month or 165 a week or 33 a day, that man is going to average 8 listings. I'm sorry, he's going to average 8 sales per year. Okay, mind you guys, that's not taking into account his being able to double end some of these. This is 8 sales, which is a potential of 16 sides. So at this number, if you were to, in a perfect world, if you were to get 16 sides, he'd be able to double that number. You guys with me there? Okay. So Does this make sense so far, guys? All right, let's go back. Let's go back to Scott. Scott was 200,000, right? And then his average deal size in Georgia is 1.2 million. Boom, right? He's got to do at 36,000. And mind you, guys, this is not taking into account your splits. You know what your splits are with your company, but I'm just trying to give you ballpark numbers here, right? He's got to do 5.6 sides. Let's call that 6. Okay. So Scott at the same conversion. Check it out. Look at this. Okay, Scott's got to do 500 dials at these conversions. Okay, in order to get, let's see, this a 1.5 listings a month, right? Which would be 18 a year. Okay, in order to, and he sells 1 out of every 3 of those. That'll give him 6 deals, okay? 6 deals will allow him to hit this $200,000 goal, right? He says, woohoo, exactly. Now, guys, do me a favor. Give me a thumbs up in the chat, right? Give me a thumbs up or a heart if this helps kind of bring a little clarity to like where you're, like your ability to understand your goals and what it takes to achieve them, right? These are your daily behaviors, right? Make sense, guys? Cool, 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 cool. Awesome. Now, that being said, okay, guys, I tell you what, Scott's got to do 25 dials a day. I'm sorry, 24 dials a day. But here's the thing. If Scott misses 1 day of 24, he's got to do 48 the next day. You with me? The thing that you have to keep in mind is you've got to do this every single day. You can knock out 24 dials in between 40 and 45 minutes in a day. Right? Usually it's like between 28 and 32 in an hour. So you can hit about 24, take you about 3/4 of an hour, right? If you have an hour of your day that you're willing to get on the call and call strangers, saying the right thing to the right people, you can hit at these numbers, at these conversions, you can hit this number, right? In fact, you can cut this down, right? Maybe let's say instead of doing 1.2 million, right? He's 800,000, right? So let's be a little conservative. Okay, so maybe he's got to dial up a little bit. He's got to go to, right? There we go. Instead of doing 24 a day, he's got to do 31 a day in case maybe he doesn't get that 1.2 million. But you see, we've cracked the code. We figured out what his daily behaviors have to be like. Because think of it this, guys, right? Our goals don't just fall in our lap. Right? What are they? They are the cumulative effect of every day's decision throughout the course of the year, right? Did you take off a day or did you work a Saturday? Did you loaf a little bit or did you go that extra mile, right? All these things over time, they add up to a cumulative effect, okay? Now, what we want to do is we want to make sure that on a very consistent basis, we are doing the right behaviors day in, day out. This guide here will show you exactly what you need to do in order to hit that. So super duper important. You have to strengthen your muscle. You need to call the right people. You need to say the right things so that you can get the meeting. And then once you get the meeting, you will be able to extract the right information so you can understand their motivation, so you can understand how you can help them the best. Does that make sense, folks? So if you're with me, give me a +1 so that I know that we're all on the same page. Because what I'm trying to do, guys, is give you clarity so that 2022, you're not like, well, I don't know what I should do today. No, this is what you should do. You should call sellers, list their properties, put them on the market, and sell them for them and try to get both ends of the deal. If you guys are with me, I can show you how to do that. That's what I do. This is what I love to do. This is what I teach my students to do. Okay? So Layla's with me, Scott's with me, Bert's with me. Awesome. Brian's with me. Cool. Okay, you guys got this? All right? Orlando's with me. All right. Beautiful, beautiful. So the last thing I want to bring up, guys, is think of it this way, right? Think of a squirrel, okay? Now, a squirrel, what does a squirrel do? The squirrel has two ways of getting nuts, right? Now, winter's coming, right? It's December right now, so like this is a pretty good analogy. So winter's coming, and he knows or she knows, Mr. and Mrs. Squirrel knows that they have to sock away enough acorns in their little squirrel hole, or else they're going to freeze to death over the winter, or else they're going to be really, really hungry when it comes time to hibernate, right? So the squirrel has 2 choices. Either A, that squirrel can sit under the oak tree and wait for the acorns to fall. Come on, Come on, acorns. What's going to happen? Yeah, a couple acorns are going to fall, right? And they're going to pick up 1 or 2 acorns, and they're going to take those acorns and then put them in their little squirrel home. Or squirrel can run up the tree, run out on the branch with the most amount of acorns, and shake that branch as hard as it can so that the acorns fall, run back down again, grab all the acorns, and go up and live very, very comfortable winter. Right, guys? The point of the metaphor is I would love nothing more than to see all of you get up every day and prospect and shake that oak tree and loosen the acorns, go out, get the acorns, and stuff them into your little squirrel home. You guys with me? Right? And that's the point of daily prospecting. Instead of waiting for business to come to us, which is the way a lot of people run their businesses, hope is not a business plan. Wishing is not a business plan. The people that do the best in this business, they run a very proactive, intentional business plan. I believe there are 2 kinds of people in life. The kind that life happens to, or they happen to life. They carve their own way. So if you guys want to sit under the tree and wait for acorns, I promise you'll get a lot more acorns if you go out and you shake that branch. Hopefully this resonates with you guys, right? So what I want to do is show you, once you start shaking that branch every single day to get those acorns, these are the numbers that you need to hit in order to hit your goals. Okay, guys? So if you guys would like a copy of this, by all means, reach out in the chat and then type in the word spreadsheet. We'll make sure we get you a copy of that. Hopefully you got a lot out of this. By the way, if you guys are looking to absolutely knock it out of the park next year, absolutely crush it, we run a 6-month training program, right? This is just a small sliver of the things that we teach. By the end of the 6 months, you are going to be ready for battle. You're going to have the skills, the knowledge, and the confidence to be able to go out, take listings, and work on double-ending those listings so you can absolutely knock it out of the park. You can make your life better, the life of your family, impact your community, do all those things that you wish you could have. This is how you unlock it. We have the method for you. So if anybody is interested in learning that method and understanding how you can actually have consistency, have repeatability, and have confidence that when you pick up that phone in the morning, you got a good chance of getting a meeting. And when you get to that meeting, you have a good chance of getting that listing. And when you get the listing, have a good chance of getting it sold and putting money in your pocket. By all means, reach out, type training in the chat, so I can reach out to you and we can hop on the phone and I can explain to you a little bit more about what it is that we do. All right, guys? Any questions along the way? Anybody else have any questions? By all means, now is the time. But if you don't have any questions, I will be more than happy to see you guys. For my students that are on the call, good to see you guys. I'll see you tomorrow night in training. And for the rest of you folks, I look forward to seeing you next Monday. Same time, same place, same back channel. All right, guys? So if there's anything I can do, reach out, let me know. If you're interested in understanding a bit more about the training, there's no better time to plant a tree. Well, I should say the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The second best time is today. So if you want to impact your business, you want to learn from someone that can show you the way and shorten your learning curve, by all means, reach out, type training in the comments, and I'll make sure that we set up a time to talk, so we can talk about what it's going to be like for you to be able to hit your goals step by step, hour by hour, every day. All right, guys, thanks so much for dropping by, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.